So I'm going to talk about this topic because this is why I feel like the world's coming to an end. It's coming down to feminism, masculinity. It can be in a toxic way. It can be in a constructive way, whatever it may be, conservative, liberalism, politics, all politics, right? Now, how many genders are there? Okay, let's look at this real quick. When we look at, for example, gender, we would say that there is a boy or a girl or a man or a woman. And then when we categorize the word sex, are sex and gender closely correlated, right? Now, there's many arguments that say, are these two things closely correlated or are they two separate things? Okay. And they are correlated, and at the same time, they're two separate things. And I'm going to explain why. When it comes down to sex, okay, we always, like when I got my cats neutered, they'll ask, what is the sex of the animal? And I would have to put male or female, okay, for the cat. There's two different surgeries for the sex of these animals. There's nothing in between. We are part of the animal kingdom, okay? We happen to be the highest, and we would be categorized as, let's say, the animal that has domain over the rest of the animal kingdom. So we're basically the king of the jungle out here, okay? But when we look at gender in a human form, we would say male or female. Man or a woman. And let's say, for example, we say male and female. Male and female would be basically the energy expression for humans, okay? The reason I say this is because when you look at genders, biologically, there's only two, okay? The same way I just made the example with the cats. Now, you'll have everything in between. This is why they have the rainbow, the LGBTQAI, I forgot what the letters are, but they have a rainbow, right? And there's a spectrum of genders in their mind. And, I've seen people where they ask them, how many genders are there? And they're like, as many as you want to believe, okay? Now, I'm very big on your mind makes everything real. But one thing this is the thing though, you're separating. This is why I said science and spirituality, or the metaphysics, should have never been separated. But in its core, there's only two genders, okay? Anything in between would be whatever you want to believe, right? So let's say you're a man and you somehow feel like a woman, okay? You will be expressing yourself like a woman. Matter of fact, I've watched these gay shows on TV. And you have to see the flamboyancy in these men. They literally are more feminine or act more womanly than the actual girl in the show. Like just the way they move, the way they sit, the way they walk, the way they talk. It's very, very expressive, very flamboyant. It's very exaggerated, okay? But in their mind, they feel like a woman. They are a woman. See, this is like this whole new agey shit. When you look at spirituality and all these people, like these people will tell you, you are God. Right? So if I walk around the street and I tell you I am God, what do you think a Christian's going to tell me? A Christian's going to demonize me. A Christian's going to say, you're not God. That's blasphemy. Right? What is God? What is it? Let's say you realize you're God right now. What do you do? What do you do as God? What are the values? What are the principles? What do you do now? What is God to you? What does God do? What would you start doing on your everyday basis? So you walk around saying you're God, but you don't live those values. You're sort of hypocritical, aren't you? So here's the thing. I agree with the LGBTQAI or how many ABCF, I don't know how many fucking letters they have, and it doesn't really matter. But I agree with them, So the whole thing is, if a man somehow decides to say that he feels like a woman and he acts very womanly, even more womanly than the actual woman, in his mind, he's a woman. One thing that's objective that he cannot do is have babies. He will never have babies. Okay? The same way if I tell you I'm God, and in your mind, God creates universes, God basically performs these miracles, walks on water and whatnot. Can you in the human vessel do what God did technically by literally flying, levitating up into the sky, going up into the clouds and walking on water and performing these crazy supernatural miracles? In your human vessel, you probably cannot do that because you're bound by the laws of matter, right? But when you look at, for example, a man cannot have babies, right? But one thing a man can do, right, is perform miracles and bleed in other areas that would seem miraculous or supernatural that he's able to do. This is why I said there's a lot of power when it comes down to the transgenderisms and, overcoming your own gender. And once you can realize this, you can utilize this to your advantage. So you cannot have babies. That's an objective truth. But subjectively, you're a woman in your mind. You'll be able to do things the same way a woman can have a baby and it seems like a miracle of life. You can do other things that would look like miracles of life to other people. It just wouldn't be having a baby because you are not biologically appropriate for that position. Because there's a split here, right? You're not androgynous, but you're androgynous in a way where you would look like you could see people when they're doing so good in life, right? When they're doing really, really good, you could be like, man, that person's on a roll. That person's on fire, bro. Look at them. Are they literally on fire though? Wow, that person's on a roll. But why do we say these things, right? So the same way from that position, you can rule your world, and to other people, it would seem miraculous. Same thing when it comes down to a woman feeling like she's a man, right? She's going to be able to do things because there are women who can actually do things that other men can't do. Because a lot of men, they're men biologically, but they don't act like men. They're weak, and to tell you the truth, they are not doing certain things and certain other women are outperforming them. Now, I'm not for example, transgenderism in sports or none of that, because it's not biologically appropriate for you, and you are always going to be stronger than another woman. But energetically, it's like somebody says, you whatever you put your mind on, your mind makes real, right? But here's the thing though. So if I decide to set my mind to do a project and my goal is to become a millionaire, then I may emulate somebody else that I look up to, and I start acting like that person. Eventually I start becoming that person. You get what I'm saying? But now we're playing these roles. We're all, and some people can basically never fit that role. It's not for them. But that's because they have a desire and they've never discovered their true essence of themselves. You get what I'm saying? So some people, this is why a lot of shadow work has to be done, so that you're going to basically know what you want to do, not basically have a desire only based on jealousy and, envy and whatnot. At its true core, it's a true heart's desire and passion that you have. But when it comes down to these people, it is a mental disorder. But the person who's straight and not gay has a mental disorder as well. They associate as much with humanity as the other person associates with a gender that they are not. It's like a never-ending battle. Why do I say sex is from the animalistic nature? I mean, look at, you have sex with your lower animalistic parts, right? Your animal instinct would be to procreate. So you have a penis and you have a vagina. You have sex with these things. So when you say, what is the sex? It's either going to be male or female. And now as a man or a woman, you're an expression, a human. So you're either a man or a woman. But if you're a man and you somehow feel like a woman, okay, then you are still a man, but you have an energy expression of a woman. See, even a straight man can be very straight. He may only like women, but he has a lot of feminine expressions, where another man may be really like manly and his deep ass voice, and and those guys, and look, I'm from New York, and I have a lot of gay friends, but there's these guys you would never think are gay, and they're fucking gay. Mad fucking big, and you would never, burly, hairy men, like you would never think they're gay, and they're fucking gay. Right? Now, this Colors of the Rainbow was not designed for it to be an actual thing of gender in the physical. It's an energy expression. That's why the colors of the rainbow are there. So you may be a man, which is going to be, or a woman, which is going to be black and white. Anything in between would just be your energy expressions. You get what I'm saying? So a real straight man can have feminine tendencies, but doesn't mean he's gay. Just like a woman you could see women are very fucking like, some women express themselves very masculine. And some women are very, very girly, very bimbo-y girly. And then some girls are very, very masculine. But doesn't mean that they're gay. This is where the true colors are supposed to be. And what they're supposed to represent is energy expressions. But not to actually say it's an actual gender. Because that's just ego. It's just the same way somebody saying they're God, and then a Christian will say that's blasphemy. But in your mind, you think you can perform the same miracles that God does in the physical realm, where it will appear to be to other people, but to the capacities, and it's only going to be done according to the laws of nature. So when it comes down to actual genders or sexes, however you want to categorize it as, because sex is the lower part, genders would be what you would actually say is for the category of human, man or a woman. And they're still correlated, because a man is an energy expression of masculine energy, and a woman is a manifestation of feminine energy. The reason this is so demonized when you don't correlate it with that is because it doesn't go with the religious order, and religion rules the world. You're not being fruitful and you're not able to multiply. So now it comes down to now controversy, and you are basically a virus in the system. Okay? This is why they say liberalism or lefties, you know, the woke movement. So it's not even about separation, because I really don't care. But I can see the corruption and how it's happening, the whole separation between everything. The reason that somebody even has a mental disorder, associates too much with humanity, or associates with a gender that they're not, it is mental disorders. But it's basically corruption from either traumas from your parents, it's either corruption from the food you're consuming, the chemicals that are being put into the environment. This is why it's wise for you to be able to detox your body and have an understanding of the body you're in. You want to have an understanding of what gender you are, or, you know, go out and debate with others about genderism and whatnot. But it's not even about that. Understand why your body is doing what it's doing, why you feel the way you feel, or what's actually happening. You mask this and they say, no, you're happy, you're happy, you're happy, but you're really not happy. You're really not happy. So that's really all I wanted to cover for this video. All right? Because somehow people will say that they only listen to a certain amount of my video, because when it came down to the topic of transgenderism or gays, that I don't have an understanding of that. See, I don't see the whole understanding and facts that they're looking for is for me to look up facts, scientific reviews and all that. It's going to come down to the same circle that these people are arguing with, because you're separating the metaphysical with the physical. The whole colors of the rainbow, again, is energy expression. I may be a man and have feminine tendencies. Some guys may say, hey, Pete, hey, you know, you move like you got like feminine tendencies. Doesn't mean I'm gay, right? I'm fucking straight. I have gay friends. I happen to think they're a lot of fun to hang around. You get what I'm saying? They're very cool people, just like I got straight friends. I go to the gym, and my gym partner, we go and we hang out, and there's actual like gay people in the gym. We all talk and having conversations like it's all good. I don't know where this whole separations thing. It's like some fucking crazy thing that I'm looking at, and I feel like it's only happening with the people online, which is funny. So in my world, why am I experiencing it where I see it online, but I don't see it in the physical realm that I'm actually living in? I don't see that kind of separation, but I'm part of the online world because I am actually a YouTuber. So why, if somebody can say, well, if you don't care, why would you even speak on it? Well, why would I not speak on it? It's like a burning itch inside that when I see something, I want to talk about it. And by the way, it's journals for me anyway. It's journals for me. The reason you can't listen to a whole video of mine is because you have cognitive dissonance, and because it doesn't go with what you want to hear, then you'll shut it off. When in actuality, that's what keeps you closed-minded. It also keeps you from learning anything else. If you watch the whole video, I don't subscribe to the whole, people saying that there's fucking 31 sexes, there's 31 genders. I don't subscribe to that, but I'm going to listen to the video in full because I want to understand what the fuck they're saying. I want to understand what they're saying. And then I'm going to sit here and give you what I processed and what I have gathered and what I'm going to put out into the public realm. But some people will listen to mine and try to reference me to somebody else. And it's like, it's the same bullshit. It's the same fucking circle of shit. And I'm not going to dwell on this topic too much because I have other topics that I want to talk about, but I wanted to respond to this one because I felt it was very, very necessary and very important. So to close it off, there's only two genders. We're in a realm of polarities. It's either black or white. But the whole thing is, the same way in the Bible says you're in the world, not of it. You're an observer. You understand that you're here expressing yourself from a black or a white perspective, which is either masculine or feminine. And you play that role. You're the balance that you have to fucking look for here in this polarity realm. When you find, if you're a man, that perfect feminine nature of yourself, from a spiritual or a metaphysical perspective, in the physical, you'll attract that feminine aspect of yourself. She'll feel like she's your soulmate. She's your fucking twin flame, whatever it may be. You get what I'm saying? Now, aside from all that, that's just to participate in the realm of creation. Because aside from all that, all right, it's you have to overcome humanity. It's overcoming this whole fucking shit, this whole debate and separation of things. I like to debate, but I debate for the sport of it. That's what I like. I love debating. It's like, it's fun to debate. But I'm not attached to it. I don't take it personal. I don't take this shit where I say, man, nah, that's not how it is. And I go and I fucking start a war with people outside. That's what activists do. What's funny is that I went on a live stream of some vegan and I decided to ask some questions. And you got to see all the vegan people in the fucking chats attacking me. I'm like, man, I'm just asking questions to the actual host. Why the fuck are everybody else responding? I'm not asking you nothing. And on top of that, they're going to just attack. We'll talk soon.